Hey everyone, welcome to Monday Musing. Woo! Oh no, my lamp's in the page. I'm sorry, Sam. I've already messed up. Hi everyone, welcome to Monday Musing. It's back. I hope it's going to be more regular now. Now my back is better, or at least on the mend. So hopefully we can do more Monday Musings now. And I think I need to try and put a little bit more structure back into them, don't I? Because they've just turned into mindless ramble when I watched the last one back, so apologies for that. I still don't know how much I can blame on the painkillers. Oh no, somebody's saying, why is it not started? Is that just a wind-up? Can actually people see me? Is anybody there? Please? Somebody on the chat? Evening, Phil. Hope you're all better. Hello from Poland. Thank you very much. I just am beginning to despise the intro music. Oh, okay. Well, that's a first, but we'll have to do custom intro music for you, Neil. Let's have a look. Right, shall we have a catch up on the chat and see who's in? So Tim Lawrence was in first, and bright and early as well. Well, bright and early for my streams, because even when I'm prepared in advance, it's not far in advance of going live. So thank you, Tim, for joining me. Akaria is on the chat. Adrian is on the chat. Ralph as well. Ralph Hummel's joined us. He said it's been a bit of a break, if I remember rightly. And he's working on gold on his second Liberator unit. So a whole bunch of work going off there, which I think if you check the Facebook group out as well, the community group, he posted some stuff up. It's amazing. Brain Spider. He's been painting Blood Rage all day. Multiple copies of the same sculpt. Not a happy man, but you know, you got to get them done sometime, so push on. And what else have we got here? Orc Boys, evening. How are you? What else have we got? Let me see. Emperor of Denmark. Hey, Emperor, how are you doing? That's very nice of you to join us. I've always feel slightly honoured when we have royalty joining us on the chat as well. That's pleasing. Emperor of Denmark. If we can have the Queen of England, that'd be lovely. Oh, can you imagine if the Queen joined the chat? She would not be amused. Tim Lawrence, Neil. Hey Neil, saying that surely it's past Sam's bedtime. No, he's awake and he's working, and I'm sure he'll tell you all about what he's working on. Was that the chat's jumped? I think I saw Rower somewhere in there. There you go. Hey all, and what have we got? Sean Jewett, Kablams. Hey Kablams, how you doing? Let me see. I think I'm almost there. Hello from Poland, from Sizwox. Let's go with Sizwox. Maybe give me a phonetic pronunciation of your name, please. I bet Sam knows it. He's so organised on that stuff. Luke Jones. Hello, Luke Jones. Slippy Tiger. Hey, guys. Whoever is bidding against me for the half-assembled Dragon Princess on eBay, please let me have them. I may have just made your life worse, then, because loads of people are going to go along and have a look at that and possibly start bidding. But you really should let Slippy Tiger have them, because he asked so nicely. Adrian likes the intro music. Derpimus Maximus, still one of the best names out there on the internet. Evening, folks. And Scott Beale. Hey, Scott, how are you doing? And are you not a royalist, Phil? Am I not a royalist? I'd say I'd be happy if she was joined us. I just said I'm not. She wouldn't be amused, I think. I don't think she's into miniature wargaming or listening to a bearded man chat on the internet. But you never know. You never know. Hi, Beard and Phil. I am a big fan of the TV series that was on recently, which covered Elizabeth's early years, with Prince Philip and all the rest. And I'll be blowed if I can remember the name of it, because it was one of those programs I got dragged into it because Sarah was watching it, and then I ended up being a bigger fan. So, have you considered getting inducted by the Iron so you can have a shiny new spine installed? They offered me a metal spine, but it came with a whole bunch of risk that I wasn't prepared to take. So I'm trying to fix myself the good old-fashioned way by trying to get fitter, I think, so my back doesn't ever go again. But we'll see. Victoria, yes, it could well be that. I'm not sure it is though. The Queen. It could be the Queen. It's the latest Queen, so that it can't be Victoria. The Crown. Thank you, Ralph. Honestly, this is, oh dear. I'm so sorry for everybody. This definitely isn't on. Look, I've got like post-it notes and things with stuff I want to talk about, and at no point was it anything to do with dramas about the royal family. Sam thinks she'd hate our show. I'm not sure. Red Cuff's reporting in. Hey, Red Cuffs, how are you? Howling Madcat eating designated rations. Oh, bless. And Grey Knights are awesome. From Adrian. Miss Maximus one is particularly fond of Matt Ward's law contributions. There you go. That's my Queen impression. That's as good as it gets. Well, I'm just going to have to sip. Right, so what are we talking about? Sean has just said she's the Phantom Thumbs Downer, so there you go. That's who's been haunting the channel all along. It turned out to be no one other than Her Majesty herself. And Thordalim says hi, so hi Thordalim. Question, oh right. There we go, question. This is from Icaria. I noticed your son Jack in a ginger. Or is it? I'm assuming that is a ginger. Sam and Rachel are also gingers. I'm no conspiracy nut, but are you like the head ginger, you know, like a head vampire? I don't know. Ginger's in the family. And where Jack's ginger came from, it skipped a generation, we think, because it is kind of in the family on both sides, so we don't know where it came from. But he is, and I will quote, ginger and proud, so there's no stopping him. And yes, and certainly when you combine gingers and it becomes ginger square, it's just a very powerful presence to be in when he gets going. Right. Bill, the Greek gives a thumbs up every time. Decimus Maximus, thank you. Question, will we talk about the new Star Wars game? The quick answer to that is no. Mainly because I haven't had time to look into it yet, and that's slightly because I got a little bit distracted by the old Star Wars game with Jack this weekend, and we'll go. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So talk a little bit about X-Wing. Which we've had a lot of fun doing this weekend while I've had some relatives down who are big Star Wars fans. But no, I don't know much about the new Star Wars game. I know obviously it's going to be sort of 28 mil scale war game, so that's pretty exciting, and I have to say I think I'd be pretty excited about that. I'd like to see the models. I want to know what plastic they're made out of, so if anybody's got any information, and at least, or point me in the direction of somewhere and maybe we can have a chat about it later. But the short answer is I don't know much about it other than it's coming out and I'm pretty excited about it. Postman is ginger too. No, the postman isn't ginger too, but my next door neighbour was. We've moved house. Both myself and my dad have ginger tashes. Well done, kablams. There's nothing better than a ginger tash. I did not. Okay, so there's a lack of facial hair or too much facial hair or the wrong coloured facial hair going off at the moment. I'm looking gone a bit messy. I don't think I showed any of you guys. I didn't put it on the Facebook page, but I will post it up later. We were away for a couple of days at the beach, and there's a lovely lady who sits on the beach all day, whose nickname is Brady Lady, and she sits there and puts these like cotton braids in kids' hair, so winding different coloured cottons around and putting beads on, so you end up with this strand. And I jokingly said, I think I'll get one done for my beard. And that turned into 2 days of pestering by all the kids we were with, going, go on, do it. And except for one kid, which was my son Jack, he was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, so yes, I went and got one done, and I kept it for about 4 days, and it got on my nerves so much I had to take it out. So Sarah kindly removed it from me, but maybe I'll do the braid. I managed to get the braid out in one piece, so maybe I should do it as a giveaway. You can win my beard braid. Oh dear. Right, okay, what have we got going off then? X-Wing is fun but lacks hobby. Yeah, that is an interesting point actually. I mean, because obviously everything comes pre-painted. You've got to be pretty strict to push yourself to start painting them again if you wanted to do your own custom schemes. And to be honest, they look pretty good. I suppose it's one of those things. This is what we found. My cousin who was down this weekend, his wife and kids are massive Star Wars fans, and it was you know, we could almost pick it up like a board game, and that was the thing. It was just so easy. Jack went out and got the starter set, and we bought a couple of extra things like a Millennium Falcon and a B-Wing and stuff like that, and before you know it, we were like zooming them around the dining room table with a mat on, having a load of fun. So it was instant gaming, so it was quite good fun for that. But yes, you're right. How far would you go into the model side? I'm not quite sure. There we go. X-Wing is the Dark Path. The new Star Wars models look like the last minigame they did to the board game quality. It also seems expensive for what you get. This is coming from Brain Spider. Well, I've seen the models. I quite like the models, only they're not really in a gamer's plastic, are they? They're in that kind of rubbery plastic, and a bit bendy and flexy. You'd have to be pretty hot on the primer there, and probably in terms of varnish as well, or a top coat to keep the paint on, especially with that flex. So I'm hoping they're going to use actual plastics, but who knows? And it seems expensive for what you get. As I said, I've not really seen much in terms of what you get and all the rest. Right. Oh. Old Boy says he actually saw it in the battle report. Did I still have the braid in the battle report? Do apologise. Okay then. So yes, it was still around. So there you go. There's truth. What else have we got going off? It's the same stuff like the Imperial models, just a bigger scale pre-build also. Okay. Right. Hoxton is joining the chat saying hi Phil, hi everyone. Red Cuffs is just telling me to shave like a normal man. Okay, I ought to. I don't know. I can't get rid of it now. It was only ever going to be a winter thing, and I used to grow it over winter and I used to shave it in the summer. But I've grown too fond of it now. I've grown too fond of it. It's a big part of my life. Okay, let's start going through a few things then. So what's been going off this week? Let's see if I can get up. Let me see. How about that? Okay, I've been working a little bit on my Genestealer cult, and as we know, this was originally for the WGO Chronicles, so I'm way behind on that, but I am getting there. So this is pretty much finished. I'd say pretty much finished. There's a few little things I'd like to do to it to kind of get it into the right place. That's not focusing, is it? Let me see if I pull it away a little bit, and hopefully you guys can see that. I'll see if I can just get rid. Let me just see if I can make the focus come up, guys. Sorry about this. There was bound to be something. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, there you are. As good as it's going to get, isn't it? So there you go. There's my Genestealer Patriarch, and there's a little bit of work still to do to him. Sam wants to try some funky stuff with some ideas he's got for blood effects. So he's holding the helmet of this poorly departed Terminator on the base, and just going to move those off. I'm going to move those off as well, and hopefully that will encourage the camera to focus on what's in front of it. There you go. That was as good as it's going to go. So there we go. Dead Terminator, missing arm, missing head. Head's in the hand of the Patriarch there. The idea is to put some horrible, visceral, drippy nastiness going down between those two. So there you go. All of this has been filmed for kind of an airbrush tutorial, but actually a painting tutorial, because I've done all of the stages to it. So I will be putting that together as well for the channel. That I think, obviously, the full painting tutorial will be going on to the premium, but the odd snippet will be going on to the YouTube channel. So, you know, basic techniques and stuff like that rather than the overall thing. I think that's the way we kind of do things now. But I'm pretty pleased with this. I kind of went with these black talons and stuff, these blacky grey talons, and partly because one, my fear of not understanding what's purple and what's blue due to my colour blindness kind of got the better of me, and I thought I don't really want to introduce a third colour when I don't really know how it's going to look. So I kind of kept it muted, was the idea. So there you go, that's how he's looking. And we also have If this will again focus, let's see you come on. Monkey. Give up. Let me see if I can turn that. Just do that. That doesn't work at all. Right, okay, so there you go. And I discovered something wonderful throughout all of this. The colours I've been using to create this sort of purple, as you can see from there, is a glossy colour. And that was driven by the fact I was using Minotaur Ghost Tints, which I'm a major fan of. But as you can see, it creates that gloss in the recesses. So this was Minotaur Ghost Tints, and in places I was actually just rubbing it off with my finger, or wetting my finger and rubbing it off, because the thing about Ghost Tints is they remain sort of soluble to water, so you can wet and rub them back down. But then I was unhappy with how glossy the models had become, sort of quite glossy. And I've tried all sorts with matte, like Tester's dual coat and stuff like that. You know, Sam has trouble getting hold of that, so I didn't want to go down that route. I've tried the Minotaur matte varnish and all the rest, and that's never been too successful. And we were given a full set of the Vallejo airbrush set, which we've got reviews coming out. And I decided to give the matte varnish from the Vallejo range a go, and it's just incredible. It was absolutely incredible how it just took. I'm going to see if I can get that to focus by sticking my hand underneath. How it took the gloss away and really matted the model down. It made a massive difference as well to this guy. I think I've got to reintroduce some gloss in some areas for the blood effects and those kind of things. But I was so pleased with it. Really, really pleased with it. So, highly recommended product. The Airbrush the Vallejo airbrush range is just amazing. Particularly so far the matte varnish, but more to try out. Right, let's catch up on the chat while I was going through all of that nonsense and see if anybody. If Phil shaved, I'd look younger than Sam. No, I wouldn't. No, I'd look like I'd eaten Sam. Phil saying my brew lord is awesome. Thank you very much, Phil. Phil, do you think that GW will be putting out new minis for all of the new 40k Codex releases? If so, what are the thoughts on Genestealer Cult? Good question. I mean, the way the rumour mill seems to be going at the moment, and feel free to please tell me this is wrong, but the word is that GW are focusing on Imperium and Chaos throughout the rest of this year. And that's what we're seeing on all the sort of rumoured release schedules. And Xenos won't be touched until next year, which is, I suppose, in time for them to give us a few extra models. It would be nice, wouldn't it, to see something extra in the Genestealer Cult. I mean, if it was going to be anything, you know, I'm a big fan of some of the old lore. So the idea, and we'll come on to this actually, the idea of the limo and all the rest, where they're a little bit more overt in their role in society. And maybe, you know, that's not going to work for the Patriarch anymore, because obviously the Patriarch looks like super big bad boy like that. In fact, let's just, there you go, let's get back to that. So that wouldn't work, driving around in a car, would it? For starters, the claws would cut straight through the dashboard. But it could work for the Megas, so who can, of course, use his psychic powers to sway the upper echelons of society and all the rest. So I'd like the idea if they showed us something like that. I don't think we'll see that, but it would be nice, and there are alternatives out there anyway. If anything, more mining equipment, more kind of playing on this, you know, Underhive stuff would be nice. I mean, in terms of the model range, I think it's pretty good for a sub cult, if you like, a subsection of Tyranid. So if not more vehicles, you know, because everything at the moment revolves around the one vehicle kit, doesn't it? Which is the rock grinder, or it can be done as the troop transport. So some alternative, some drilling kit or something like that would be fun. Right, okay then. That was a long. God dear me, I do rattle on. Okay, what are we on? Homish says, hi Homish, how you doing, mate? Tim saying that looks fantastic. Oh, bless you. There we go. Question from Akaria again. What is the status of the Genestealer called Sky Talon? Any progress? I have been drilling and magnetizing and repositioning the arms so they can actually hold the crate, and that's taken a bit of work because I had a bit of a whoopsie this week, which I've actually had lost quite a bit of hobby time to try, because I managed to break one of my airbrushes, which is just disastrous. But I've recovered from the situation, but I lost a lot of time in trying to sort that out. So no, not a lot of progress other than doing some modeling onto the like I say, the magna grabs. Right. Premium airbrush matte varnish. It's fantastic. I don't know whether that's the one I've got, but I will have a look into that. I don't think it is. Maybe it's just the standard air range. But that, I'm blown away by that, to be honest. I don't know how I'd want anything more than what that's delivered me, but I will give it a go. Wow, big fans of Vallejo matte. Can you airbrush Vallejo matte? You can if it's the airbrush one. I mean, I don't know in terms of the model paint range. This was from the model air range. Yes, you can definitely airbrush that. It's a little bit thick. I had to crank the pressure up. I also went up to my Patriot 105 brush, which has got a 0.5 needle in. So it's a bigger needle. It was quite thick, and I didn't want to risk diluting it because I wanted to make sure I got the matte effect. So I went with the bigger needle brush, and I went with high pressure. Well, high, it was sort of 25 psi, something like that. I never ever really work above 25, you know, unless I'm cleaning the brush out. I might crank it up to 30, but it was about 25 psi to push it through because it's a little bit thick. What else have we got down there? 3 minis down. This is Brain Spider. 3 minis down. For the Genestealer Club. Well, it's actually 11, 12 miniatures down, and the next, and I'm already made a start on laying the base colours down for these chaps. If I can get to them, there you go. And I think you've seen these before, but just as a reminder, these are actually part of my WDO Chronicles list. So these two fellas are part of the list, and they've just got a base color on over a black at the moment. They are going to be heavily weathered, which is new territory for me. Scary time. I'm going to get Sam to come around and hold my hand while I do the weathering, because it's just not something I'm done. These chaps pop out, by the way. They're just blue tacked in at the moment, but they're going to pop out for painting. So they're the next two models to get done. They're part of the 1,000 point list. And I'm hoping to get them done this week. And again, oh, I got rid of me. I didn't realise I got rid of me. You had a logo instead of me. And I'm hoping to get those done by really next weekend. I hope so. Right, what else have we got? No problems. Pushing it through H&S with a 0.4 needle. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Sotar I've got has got a 0.2 needle on it. So I think it would have just been a bridge too far to push it through that, and even the Spirit I've got, I think, is a 0.3. So I wouldn't have wanted to try it on anything less. Also, big important thing if you're going to use any of the matte varnishes, and this goes for a lot of the sort of effect paints as well, is just don't leave it sat in there. It skins, as in it forms a skin really quickly. The tide around the cup, the little tide mark you get, forms a skin really quickly. So you want to pull those back out with a Q-tip or a cotton bud, as we say in the UK, just to pull them back out rather than try and wash them through the needle, because they just don't do any favours to the nozzle. Ooh, right. Ghost tints reactivating and bleeding through varnishes. I've had it happen on me a few times now, even after letting it dry for 48 hours. The quick answer is no, but I seal it not with a water-based varnish. I seal it with a polyurethane varnish. In other words, Purity Seal. The dreaded Purity Seal. Every time I use Ghost tint, I will always give a light coat of Purity Seal. And Sam hates Purity Seal. It always seems to, well, not always, but he's had a few problems with it. So a few of the people keep away from it, which I understand, but it's never, touch wood, somewhere over there, it's never affected me. Purity Seal, because it's polyurethane, I don't think it would bleed through, but, you know, maybe you've had something different. Right. Okay. What have we got? Oh, Ralph Hummel's saying actually. Oh goodness me! Actually, I think I'm a little bit behind now. Okay, quick. Let's move on. Genestealer cult need a limo model. They do indeed, Brain Spider. They do indeed, and I've got some news on that. My Genestealer cult will indeed, hopefully, be getting a limo model. So we'll have a chat about that shortly. Great magnetizing video, by the way. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure I did one. I think that's at Kablam's. Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, oh yes, it is at Kablam's. I'm not reading the quote properly. Steeler Cult also need friends and dispersion explosive collars to return, plus mutants and beastmen. Yeah. You could expand the range. It would be kind of nice. But like I say, for me, and it's quite selfish because I focused on the idea that they work in a mine and that fits a whole bunch of scenery I've built and all the other stuff. Then selfishly, I'd like more mining equipment, please. Acaria question: some paints require thinning with alcohol/white spirit depending on the range. My airbrush needle is PTFE coated. Will these solvents eat away at the coating and reduce the life of the needle? Goodness me, what paints are you? Okay, alcohol. Some people, of course, are using isopropanol as the basic thinner for airbrush paint, so that's alcohol based. White spirit, that would have to be an oil based paint, wouldn't it? You're asking the wrong person if you want to talk about oil based paints. I'm so old. I remember when acrylic paints really became a thing for model painters, and I was very young. I'd had probably one season of trying to paint with oil paints, and I was quite happy to turn my back on them. So I haven't spent any more time with the oil stuff. So in terms of putting alcohol through, is it going to affect the PTFE coat? Probably not. I don't think so. But anyway, I would recommend. There's a product by. Excuse me a second. There's certainly a product by Minotaur. I'm seeing if I've got it out because I was actually cleaning my brushes. There's a product by Minotaur which is a needle juice, and it's an oil that you can actually coat your your needle in after you've cleaned it, which just keeps the needle nice and clean, keeps everything flowing, and the oil also lubricates as the seals inside the brush. So have a look into that. Barwell Bodyworks is the UK supplier of Badger, but look at the Badger needle juice. Basically, it's great stuff. Big fan of it, especially when you're going to put your brushes away for a while. You can also use it essentially just to oil the airbrush. To be honest, you know, the trigger mechanism and everything. I'm thinking, right, okay then. So lots of people saying PTFE is fine. I'm going to have to move faster. I'm thinking when the Gang for Necromunda come out, I'm thinking of a government type convert for my absolutely awesome. Yes, apartheid sort of, yes, the Arbeiters, the police force and all the rest. Those are all. Jack actually did a unit of Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarium as they're called now, of those guys with all the maces. Of course, with my unit, I did. I'll just hold that little fellow up. There's an example of one of mine. Look, so that's using the Imperial Guard mechanism, but giving him the cult icon on his little backpack and giving him shotgun. So I've got all those little fellas to paint, and of course they go in. Oh. Let me swap back to this one if I can. There you go. They go in this little 6-wheel vehicle. That's a converted Chimera, of course. So again, only base coated at the moment, magnetized weaponry and those kind of things. But I just like the idea of this sort of security force was what I was aiming for. Love that vehicle, by the way. Can't wait to paint that. That's next in the list. Right. Okay. Let's try and do some catching up. Ralph Hummel. Oh my goodness me. Ralph Hummel, the AK Interactive weathering products, they require thinning with white spirits. Right, got you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, couldn't tell you, to be honest. Couldn't tell you whether white spirits would affect PTFE. Like I say, worst comes to the worst, you can always relubricate the needle anyway, or get a spare needle and swap them over between jobs. That would be my next piece of advice. And I do that sometimes. If I've got, for instance, a needle that's had a little bit of a battering, then I'll use that for base coating and stuff. And I just keep them in the tubes, the spare needle tubes, and stick a little label on it to say what state that needle's in. And that way, if you've got a needle that you do for your superfine work, you can kind of keep that for when you're only doing superfine work. Right, okay then. Looks like someone's having their first 40k game somewhere. I love this. Okay, Brain Spider, I'm hoping to get a limo from Wargames exclusive in the near future. It will work as a Goliath if necessary. That's cool. I was looking at that one. The only thing I've heard about that one, and just to warn you, is I don't think it's very big. I think scale, a couple of people have commented on scale. It feels more like a 20mm vehicle rather than a 28mm vehicle. That is unqualified, of course. I have no idea anyway, because I've not seen it side by side. I googled to see if someone had actually posted an image up, but it was only on one of the Facebook groups. There was a couple of comments about it being quite small, and I think even on their own website or on their own Facebook page, someone had complained that the size wasn't that good. But not having it in my hands, no idea what it looks like. Certainly style-wise, it was cute. Right, okay then. Somebody, oh, Adrian's putting links through to Diecast Toys. Might have to check that out later. Tamiya acrylic in the early 80s. Yeah. Yep, that was it. Yeah, yes, I certainly remember struggling with oil paints. I think I used a brush every single time I did a paint job. Never successfully cleaned the brush properly. And when Tamiya acrylics came out, it was great fun. Super strong colours as well. Okay, what have we all got? Quality time with mother-in-law before she goes back home. I'm confused by that, but don't worry about that. Big Rich has just joined. He's just got home from work. Hello, Big Rich. How you doing, man? Right. Okay. So, what was I talking about? Well, two things. I have kindly been provided a Lark model for review. Now, I've not done the review yet. I've literally not opened the bag yet. But this is these guys who Core Aeronautics, and it was Mark Wallace who got in touch actually sort of to chat with me this week, and I was pretty excited to manage to get one of these, one or hopefully two of these to review actually. If you haven't seen this, it's a really cute vehicle, so I'm just going to pop along to the render there. And it's basically sort of a helicopter sort of flying little thing, and I just love it because it's got that ornithopter sort of look to it. I just think it's fantastic, and I'm just going to pop down and have a look. Here's the actual model. So as you can see, it's got kind of missile pods. This is 28mm scale, and I have got some of the parts here, so I'm going to show you some of the parts, but it's not the final copy I've got, because they literally gave me a couple of bits out of the press, so I could kind of have a look at them and think about for scale. But I absolutely love this thing. And there's two variants, I think. There's going to be the sort of the standard variant, and then you've got this Medivac Rescue Lark. So with these savior pods, which are really cool. So I'm going to scroll down and have a quick look at these, because I'm sure. There you go. Oh, there's a close-up of the rotor. So excited about that. I mean, even if nothing else, I think as well there's talk of selling these rotors separately, so for conversion, or is there? I might be wrong about that. But either way, exciting in terms of either conversion possibilities or just for using as it is, because it's a fine looking model. So what does this low altitude rotorcraft look like? Let me just get a couple of bits out. I'm just going to show you for scale, because like I say, they provided me these bits and they've not had cleanup, and I've not had a chance to clean them up yet, but I will be doing that, and I'll be doing a full review. So I'm just going to get a couple of bits out, so it's fair on them, because they did say, okay, you can take these, but you know, just tell everybody that they've not been cleaned up yet. So here we go. How do I switch over to this? There you go. So, just to give you an idea of scale, that's how big the rotor is. And I've not got little hands, so that's quite big. I'm wondering if I've got a ruler. I've got a ruler. So that rotor is almost 3 inches across. Look, just shy of 3 inches across. And what we've got here is the front cockpit there. And I think that's also the rear of the cockpit, which goes onto the tail section. And I've also got these, actually. Let's just have a quick look at these. So these are the landing skids as well. So again, just to give you an idea of size and scale there, looking at 3 inches for that. Anyway, very excited. I'm going to be receiving a full set of that for review. And we will be getting a video up on YouTube for people to have a look at. But this is a great looking model, definitely, and I'm pretty excited by it. You know, obviously it's designed, it's not a 40k model, that's not what it's designed at. You know, it's to go within its own sort of universe with the SLA guys and those kind of things for the games there, which I'll say a lot more about on the actual review. But there's a lot of conversion possibilities, or just using it straight. Again, for something like Genestealer Cults or something like that, it's a pretty cool looking vehicle, and this sort of lift vehicle. So, right. What have we got going on in the chat? What are people thinking to that? So Brain Spider says, you've seen the images of the rotor vehicles floating around on the internet. They do look really nice. Yep, they are. They are. They're really nice. And great looking kit. And it's not a bad size at all. Like I say, when the whole thing goes together, if you think each one of those rotors is 3 inches, the gap in between is 3 inches, you're looking at sort of, you know, a 9-inch sort of wingspan. You know, that's chunky. That's chunky fun, that is. So yeah, pretty excited by that. But that led us onto a conversation around Genestealer Cult. And if I can find this now, the infamous how can I do this? There you go. The infamous Genestealer Cult limo, of which Mark Wallace said that they were also working on this. Now, I think they're in super early stages at this. What they're hoping to do, what they've been absolutely fantastic, they're going to send a copy of this out for me to review as well. But I don't think it even physically exists at the moment. But Mark's been super generous and sent through a couple of renders. So if we go from that sort of classic artwork to this render, you can just see that's just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Absolutely beefy. Look at those wheels. It's fantastic. And these little tiny windows. But that's the short wheelbase. So, and there's the long wheelbase. I'm just in love with that. 6-wheeler, long wheelbase limo. It's just amazing. So I'm pretty excited about that, I have to say. And I think that's all I've got at the moment. But as I get more information, I'll be sending it through to you guys. But as you can see from that sort of old artwork there, through to the model, and then through to the limo version. And again, of course, this is aimed actually at, you know, another game in another piece of background. But as you can see, perfectly applicable as well for 40k. And I have seen somewhere, I think, a comparison of this to a Land Raider. And this is a chunky bit of kit. And it's also, from what I've seen initially as well on their site, I think it's a lot cheaper as well. So I will have a lot more information next week, and hopefully I'll also even have one of the models in hand. But as you can see, it's just gorgeous. I've got a couple of people saying, how does it steer? Oh, honestly? Really? Do you want me to ask that question? It's rear wheel steering. Well, hold on. Sorry. Derpimus Maximus just went, yeah, rear wheel steering. Yes, it's rear wheel steering, obviously, maybe. Or it just repulses itself around. So Brain Smiler saying he needs those limos. Happy to accept copies to review. Right, okay then. So very excited about that. I've just gone through the chat again. I can't wait to get my hands on that. And of course, from an airbrusher's perspective, it would paint well anyway. But from an airbrusher's perspective, I'm half tempted to spray it up with iridescence and just have some crazy purple toon tone bling going off, which the iridescents are tricky. I actually did them. If anybody's seen the show reel for my Sylvaneth for Age of Sigmar, if you haven't seen that, pop along and have a look at the big beetle that Alariel is standing on the back of. And I believe I used purple and blue iridescence. So you judge for yourself, because as you know, I can't see purple and blue. But that's what the label said, and I was hoping it created some kind of iridescent tone. So go along and check that out, because I'm half tempted to essentially just go with the same colour scheme. And unfortunately, when I did Alariel, I didn't do any videos of that iridescent paint work and how to lay the iridescent paints down and prepare the base colours for them and all the rest. So if I get one of these in my hands and I go with the iridescence, then I'll do a full tutorial on those as well, because they're a little bit tricky to work with, particularly to get the effect you want, and it requires some work on the base coats, but I could talk through all of that. Right, what else have we got going off? Anyway, excited. Check those guys out. I think the Kickstarter has reached its pledge level, has it? I think so. Is it successful? I think it is. Pledged over 2,000 gold, 32 backers. But it's UK-based business. They've got more and more stuff to come. They seem a nice bunch of people as well. So give them some support, and let's see some of these rotary babies on the gaming board. Right, what else have we got? Oop. Oh, it's me again. Hello, me again. Right, okay. Phil, you're playing SU in Bolt Action, are you not? How many T-44s will you crush Sam with? As many as possible. That's the other thing that's been chewing up a lot of my time. I discovered a series on Netflix which was World War II in colour, and it was a bunch of old footage that had been colourised. And I've just churned my way through that as well. I've binge watched that, so I'm a little bit more up to speed on World War II now. It's shameful that I didn't know as much. I only knew as much as I did, so I'm pretty happy that I've spent some time getting to know that. And I'm pretty excited about the T-34s, I have to say. They're a great tank. And so yeah, how many will I be getting? No more than 100. I don't think you need that many for the game, do you? I've seen some massive collections, and I'm just thinking, how big do those games get? They must just get mental. Right, okay. What have we got here? There's something about scale. I'm assuming that's to the link. Oh, wait, here we go. Phil, bring up the whole limo thing. More 40k military style feel, stretcher, Hummer plastic. Ah, okay. Yeah, you could go with that. One of the things I also thought of doing is you could go with the Scion's vehicle. And I know it's essentially a truck, but you could stretch one of those, couldn't you? And kind of have this stretched truck, kind of armoured personnel limo almost, if you know what I mean, which would have that Hummer feel to it, really, wouldn't it? That sort of Humvee kind of stretch limo feel. It would work, I think. It's a little bit on the tall side, so maybe you could do something about lowering the roof, but certainly something that's possible. But I definitely like the more the high society look. I just like the idea of that, you know, running around. What else have we got? Turning circles of HMS QE2. Maybe, but when you're driving in that style, you don't need to go around corners. Ghost Flames, why not? Okay, what else have we got? The Rust Belt Blacksmith. Phil, I'd love to see a video of your Treeman Realm Gate. It's incredible. Oh, yes. I think I actually... If I didn't shoot some footage of that, I did a whole bunch of progress shots, which I could at least put a slideshow together and a bit of a voiceover. This is the new Phil, by the way. I've come back from my back injury. Sam's been an absolute champion looking after the channel. I'm going to try and get more content out, is my focus, because I think Sam deserves a little bit of a respite. So this would be, right, the tree gate. So what I could do is take all the progress shots and create a slideshow and chat through it. I will do that. I was really pleased with that Realm Gate stuff, actually. And I made one without any idea what a Realm Gate does or how it impacts on the game or what's the point of it or anything. But I enjoyed doing it. It lights up as well. I don't know. I got into this whole idea of the soul pods in the groves. And I rigged a whole bunch of the forest up with lights as well that glow. We've never used them. I thought this will look so cool on video, but it only looks cool when you turn the lights off and then you can't see anything. So it doesn't really work on video, but I'll take some pictures and pop them up on the community channel when I get down to the studio. Okay, excited for Blightwar. Jack is excited for Blightwar. I know it's got mixed reviews, but he really loves the new model. He thinks it's brilliant, but he's a Rick and Morty fan as well, so I should mention he's got that kind of almost comic element to it, and Jack's always enjoyed the comedy side of Nurgle. You know, the whole idea of Papa Nurgle and the little Nurglings that get up to no good and misbehave themselves and do all sorts of nonsense. He's always enjoyed that, so for him it's perfect. And he's super happy, so yes, we should be seeing some Blightwar fun. And he's actually been working, last couple of days he's been working on getting his death card done, because he used just a small contingent of them in the battle report that we launched this week. And apologies to Sam who had to edit that, because I really wasn't on the ball when it came to shooting the footage, so don't think he's talking to me. But we used a small contingent and he's all for now. He needs to do the full Death Guard fun. So he's in a Nurgle mindset anyway. And it's made him want to revisit his Nurgle demons for Age of Sigmar, because he was saying, oh, I could do this now, I could do that. So expect to see more fun. Elster Nation, evening. Good evening, Elster Nation. Oh, painter of many miniatures. You've both kept me motivated and demoralised me during my back injury, because you just painted so much while I laid on my back doing absolutely nothing. But anyway, it's good to have you on the chat, Elster Nation. How are you doing, man? You can field tank platoons in BA as well. Okay. Never have too many T-34s. Well, there's the answer. Never too many T-34s. I really want to paint some, actually. I think Sam's got... Sam or Mike's got the Russian Conflict 47 starter set, which I don't think comes with a T-34, does it? It's not... Is it? It may be a modernised T-34. I've not seen it yet. I keep trying to pick it up, and I've not had a chance to pick it up yet, but I will have a look at that. And I'm pretty excited about painting them, actually, because one of the things that the Genestealers... I'm trying to do with it, as I mentioned, is I'm trying to get used more to weathering, and I'm going to get Sam to give me some lessons when he's got some time, because I think if I'm going to do my Russian tanks, then I want them all sort of, you know, Eastern Front, frozen up, you know, ice and snow all over them and those kind of things. Okay. Brain Spider, I'd like to get Blightwar, but it's beyond my budget right now unless someone wants to sell me the Nurgle half of it. Well, there you go. Pop a request upon the community. Maybe somebody's after the other half. I think Jack will be after the Nurgle half, so so that should he's going to be no help to you. Right. Kablam's saying that's beautiful. I'm not quite sure what Kablam's is saying that's beautiful for. T-34s, my face, the beard. Thing I showed online. I don't know. It's so long ago now, Kablams, but thank you. You may not even be talking about something I said. You could be talking about somebody else's beauty. Oh, it's so confusing. Loving the female Stormcast in the box. This is from Martin Orlando. Hey Martin, how you doing, by the way? Don't like that it's the only place to get the Nurgle Allegiance ability. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I have to look into that. Big Rich, have I painted any of the new Primaris? I painted half of the store Primaris for Wordforge Games and the Mark Rapson's shop. So we featured those in the unboxing and in the subsequent games. So they're done in the Ultramarines colours. But all I did was the airbrush work, and then Mike went off and did all the hard work in terms of the detailing. I think they're good models. The bigger scale definitely lends themselves if you want to, because I know that not everybody's an airbrush fan, but the big sort of surface areas and the smooth surface areas lend themselves to, I think, for some nice airbrushing effects. So it's the kind of army that would appeal to me. Sam's doing Primaris, Mike's doing some Primaris to go with Guilliman. So right now I need to focus on other stuff, but I do want to do a Primaris army. And I am torn between Space Wolves and White Scars at the moment. And I know it makes no sense. If they bring out, put it this way, if they bring out any form of bike whatsoever for Primaris, I will be all over Primaris White Scars. But just because I like painting white. Okay. Ooh, Hoxton saying the snail from Blightwar is so nice. I agree with you. I just yeah, it's great fun. It looks like fun. Oh, Kablams' chat is really slow. Okay. Never mind, Kablams. It could be that I'm really slow, so don't worry about it too much. Oh wow, Brain Spider, love the new Murgle model in Blightwar. I want him for my army. The rusty spins. I want someone to put a L'Oreal on that snail. That's from Tim Lawrence. Comment of the night, I think. Right. What's this now? Red Cuffs. Phil, what's the difference between converting and kit bashing? And is there another thing you can do for a non-standard model? Whoa. What kind of a question is that, Red Cuffs? That feels like a trick question. That's no moon. Converting and kit bashing. Oh, right. Okay. If I was going to say the difference, and I'm not sure there is a difference, by the way, I think converting, in my mind, when I convert a model, primarily the model remains more or less the same. So what I mean is I might put a cloak on, I might change a weapon, I might change a head. So in other words, there is a model and I'm changing an element of it. That's what I would say is converting. Kit bashing is kind of like what Sam's done with his latest model, where you get 2 or 3 different kits and you mash them together to create a model that is almost unrecognizable from any of its derivatives. There you are. That's what I would say is a kit bash. So Sam had Gravis armor. He used the jump pack from the Jumpy Packy Primarisy guys. Oh, what is that called? Interceptors. Anyway, someone will correct me, but the jump pack ones. And then he used a bit of cloth from a Nurgle, and it was the Gravis armor, and there was no back to it that he could use, so he had to green stuff and then tie it back, and then he stuck some horns coming out of the arms. It's just a beautiful kit bash. I was going to say conversion. Is there another thing you can do to it for a non-standard model? I suppose you could sculpt. You could sculpt from ground up, and people do it. There's every now and then, and I've forgotten the name, so apologies if you're on the chat right now. But there's somebody on the community site that posts up a fully sculpted orc out of green stuff, and you might just the weapon might be repurposed from somewhere, but sculpted from scratch. I've never had a go at that. No, I've never had a go at just sculpting model. Kind of okay then. I did an Eldar Aegis defense line, which I suppose you could count that was sculpted. But I 3D sculpted it and got the masters printed, and then I cast them. Okay, what have we got going? Got to leave. Ralph, he's already gone, probably ages ago, so sorry, Ralph, but thanks for joining us. I like this. This is from writer Sophie Stevens. Hey, writer Sophie Stevens. This is the first time I think I've seen a comment from writer. That's a name I'd remember. I like the humour that they're bringing back into fantasy, especially the name horticulture. It's been a pun on horticulture. And that when you still look at Lord Croak, a dead slan who's croaked it. Yes, agreed. I'm all for a little bit of humour in our games. It doesn't do it any harm whatsoever. Derpimus Maximus have painted one squad of intercessors and stripped them like 3 or 4 times. Can't decide on the colour scheme. I feel your pain. I'm did an alternative colour scheme for my Dark Angels and got a third of the way into it, and I'm not happy with it, so I'm not quite sure what to do with them at the moment. What have we got? Oh, the matter. Oh dear. Right, quick catch up on the chat. Scott Beale, let's get Primates convert it to an aberrant for my cult army and just give my unit something different to look at. Ooh. Red cuffs. So Phil, whatever way you do it, it still has to represent the Codex model. Yes. Yes, I think so. For me, yes. Partly because I like people to recognise WYSIWYG. I like people to recognise what the model is. A good example of that probably would be my Eldar Wraithlords, which I've done a whole range of them. You know, sort of Striking Scorpion, Avenger, Dire Avenger, and the Dark Reaper one. I think there's an Eldar showcase up, which is dreadful because I tried some flashy effects and it upset everybody because it was like lots of flashing lights in it, and I don't know what I was thinking at the time. But there's an Eldar showcase up where you can see some of those, and all of those was kind of built to be Codex legal, so that's what I was aiming for. And what I mean by that is the Striking Scorpion one, whilst it sort of had a chainsaw, it's still essentially the blade, and it's got like the shuriken cannon that came with a Forge World kit, and it's holding it more or less like a shuriken pistol, like the Striking Scorpion, but it's still actually the cannon model. It's just a short barreled one. So that's what I kind of do. If you want to learn how to sculpt dream stuff, ask Markov Wolf on his YouTube channel or in the PMP. He's an expert. Oh, okay then. Have to check that out. I mean, I've done a little bit of sculpting. I wouldn't say, you know, starting from scratch and sculpting a model onto a wireframe or something would be a trick too far. I've done hair and chainmail and bits and bobs and stuff like that, but I'll definitely check that channel out. That looks good. Right, Red Cups. Thanks, Phil. Not quite sure what's going off there. Right, what time are we at? My goodness, it's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, let's just check my quick list. Oh, right. Just a quick thank you to a couple of people, actually. Patrick, who sent the dice tray mats through, so the dice trays don't make a terrible noise for everyone. So I'm just going to see if I can get this up. There you go. So as you can see, Patrick, they are dice trays, and the reason I'm showing this is actually one of the premium battle reports, so I'm aware not everybody can see them. So the first time we tried them out was on one of the premium battle reports, and this is Eldar versus Nurgle, predominantly Nurgle Demon, but mainly Nurgle. And you know, Sam's just been telling me off because of the rule mistakes I made, but yeah, rule of one does my head in when it comes to psychic powers. You know, one per psyker, I get it, but one across the entire army, come on. I'm Eldar. There's no point. So anyway, there we are. That's my little rant over. But there's the dice trays which stop the the big dice noises on the bat rep. Oh no. Brain Spider misses the dice noises on the bat reps. What's happened to my hands? When? Oh, were they? They're here, look. And ears. I don't know what. I'm completely confused by that comment. Oh, wait, hold on a second. It's a comment from Brain Spider. I used to love sculpting models from scratch, but sadly my hands weren't up to it anymore. Yes, I think Brain Spider will probably answer that, but if I remember rightly, you have trouble, don't you, keeping sort of without tremors in your hands. So appreciate that. Must be frustrating for you. I certainly know from being off my back, you know, with my back, how frustrating all of that gets when you can't do hobby. But anyway, back to the thing. That's the battle report with the beard braid. Yes, it is indeed the battle report with the beard braid. I'm not sure. I'm just randomly going to click at 37 minutes and 28 seconds. Just to, no, it's Jack's hand. So there you go. I don't think I can probably show you that beard braid. Oh, there you go. I found it there. I don't know whether you can see it right in the middle there, but it's just hanging off the beard there, which it was extremely annoying. Anyway, back to oh right, where are we going? Let's just get back to the back to me. Why not? So loads of people saying they miss the dice sounds. Honestly. Just you can't. Sam will be having a little fit. I've noticed Sam's not done any anything on the chat actually. I wonder if he's just dialed out and either just not engaged, or he's happily hobbying away. Which I hope so. I hope he's just hobbying away. So before I round up, what else happened this week? Well. Yes, other than, like I say, playing a bit of X-Wing this weekend, I'm really enjoying it. It's not big on the hobby, but it is big on the gameplay. Mark over at Wordforge Games' son, Zach, is like a super Star Wars X-Wing fan. Jack has really quite got into it. Sam's in the chat, so hey Sam. Between the two of them, they've decided to do a Zach and Jack X-Wing series. Bear in mind that this is like, you know, two kids who have decided to do like a video series for the channel. So let's hope we see some. Let's hope we see some content. I think we'll get there, but we'll see. Jack has done wonderful on his GCSEs, and he's going off to start his A levels next week. And he's doing triple science because he wants to go into medicine, but to keep the sort of artistic side going, he's also doing A-level photography as well. And in particular, he wants to focus on moving image. So he wants more practice on editing video and shooting video and all the rest. So hopefully that will be enough of an incentive for him to produce more content for you lovely people, because you deserve it. Right, we're going to have to put the dice sounds back in, Sam, or not. Maybe we could do an interactive TV version where you can either select with or without dice sounds, or we could do no, you can't really edit both, can you? Should we have one dice tray without and one with, so there's like a 50-50 mix for everyone? Sam, you need to make a decision on that. Oh dear me. Right, okay then, I think for tonight that's it. I promised my better half that I wouldn't spend too long at the desk. I can still only sit for about an hour or so before it starts to get a little bit painful, but the physiotherapy is working, so I'm getting better and better at sort of sitting down more, which means I'm going to get a little bit more hobby done, and I'm going to get hopefully a lot more content for the channel done. Sam's getting asked a bunch of questions in the chat, so I feel like I should leave the stream going so Sam can just chat to everyone. But he's just created a character for his Black Dragons. It's a captain with a jump pack. I've just been talking about that. Shall we see if we can find it on the... let's have a quick look. You know what? What time is it? Okay, we're 3 minutes past. I'm going to spend 2 minutes and spin through and see if we can find some stuff. Great post from Richard there of progress he's been making as well. And crazy colour scheme. I love it. That's me going on about that. What else have we got here? Barry Young putting up a showcase. Paria been over to GW. What was this? Oh no, this was at Warlord, wasn't it? It went over to Warlord. So yes, you've been having some good fun down there, haven't you, as well? So a bit jealous actually. I need to get out more. What else have we got going on? I know somewhere in this chat, and apologies to anybody I zoom past and not mention, but here we go. We've got the Dreadsaurian. Finally, we get the unboxing of that. So if you haven't seen that, pop along and have a look. Manuel Rupert has finished his Fanatics, and they look fantastic. And I've offered Sam a bunch of the Fanatics because obviously under the new Sigmar stuff, then you can put goblins with with his wonderful Aurochs and still keep their faction keyword. It's saying that Sam's posted up a bunch of images, so shall I I'm gonna refresh. How do you refresh on a PC? Here you go, let's do a refresh. Here we go, Sam Stocks. Here we go, look. Let's have a quick look at this. So this is Sam's captain. Oh, he's put spirally bits on the hull. I didn't know you were going to do that, Sam. You've been working really, really hard, haven't you? And some chain we've got going off, some crazy hair. There's some artwork that goes along with this model that Sam's basing it on. He's doing a fabulous job. As you can see, there is Black Dragon pauldron things that he got. And the big jump pack. And this is, as I was saying, a bit of a niggly cloth, but he's sculpted on a whole bunch more cloth on top. So, my goodness, Sam, you've been really working hard. He's a very angry fellow, isn't he? What do you think he's... Oh, there you go. Oh, this one's laughing. You've gone for anger. This chap's going, ha 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 ha. Okay. Sam will be cursing me now already. You need to put 3 purity seals on the pad. Has he done that yet? Oh, look at him. He has been putting purity seals on the pad. I should have known, shouldn't I? 2 on that side. Let's have a quick rotate round. You can only squeeze 2 in, but I'll let you off because you want to show the symbol. I get it. So he's not going for absolute. Oh, of course, it's Gravis armor and all the rest anyway, isn't it? So looking good. Certainly captured the pose, and I think that's the main thing. Doing a running pose for these kind of models, and especially something as chunky as the Gravis armor, is a challenge in its own right. But there you go. If there's anybody uncertain about what a kit bash looks like, that indeed is a kit bash. Wow, that's nice from Audrey. That's really cool. Love that skin work. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the community site. If you want to know what's on the community site, pop along the community site and have a look. Look at Eddie's work. Gorgeous. And who else do you see? And there's Dave, look. And he's doing some boards. And Nathan's got some grenadiers coming along. And John's doing his usual gorgeousness in gold and red wonderfulness. And Paul Richardson's been doing some tables for a game, or he's been gaming on a table. That's massive. And Tom's been doing some fresh goodies and stuff. So pop along with the community, check it all out. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and all the rest for the channel. So go along to the YouTube channel, check out Wargamer Online. And also, as I've mentioned on the chat, there's a whole bunch of extra content on wargameronline.com on the premium section. So if you like what we do and want to support us, and you're not already a premium member, pop along, sign up for that. You get access to a whole bunch of extra videos and battle reports and stuff like that. And there's going to be more and more stuff every week that goes by. So, and one last thing is to thank everybody who is supporting us. We had some donations in the last chat that Sam did. That's going towards some new camera equipment for us. We've also upgraded our account for Vimeo, which enables us to put more content up in premium as well, or at least higher quality and longer videos. So it's all good stuff. We're going in the right direction, but we can't do it without your support. And if you're not already supporting us, thanks for watching anyway. But and if you feel like you've got enough for a spare coffee, then pop along and sign up for a month and say hi. Have a good weekend, or well, have a great week. It's Monday, isn't it? Oh, back at work for us in the UK. But fear not. Sam will be back on Friday, I believe, with the chat. And there'll be a bunch of videos throughout the week as well, so keep an eye out on the YouTube channel. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. As ever, I'm honoured by how many people show up. It's so nice to come along and have a chat to you guys, and we'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.